I've been rereading the Harry Potter series of books recently, and it inspired what I want to talk about in this video, especially from our own experiences, trying to find our way in a world that may not fully understand or appreciate our perspectives. Now, compared to the films, the books are a lot darker, and there are lots of allegories and metaphors in there regarding living in a world that doesn't share our magical perceptions and way of life. The books are so much darker than the films. There's a lot more metaphor about feeling different, misunderstood, or like you're living life on your own terms in a society that doesn't speak your language. And honestly, I prefer it that way. Another plus side to the books is that the characters are how your mind sees them, rather than having to watch Daniel Radcliffe and Emma what's her name, I forget. But they never quite lived up to the versions that I had in my head. In the books, the characters are yours. There's no Hollywood filter or shiny studio versions with perfect teeth. It's just your own weird little brain doing the casting. And that got me thinking about how it feels to be, well, a non-muggle in a muggle world. Now, I don't tend to venture out into normie land unless I have to. And when I do, I've learned to keep myself a bit private. Not out of shame or embarrassment, but because I don't have the energy to explain myself to people who don't want to understand. I mean, I'll chat to anyone with an open mind, but I'm talking about your hardcore five sensory types. You know, if you can't see it, touch it, smell it, hear it, or taste it, then according to them, it doesn't exist. Your Colin and your Barry types from down the pub. But your magical outlook, that's a gift, and it brings a richness and meaning to your life. And it's a richness and meaning that many people don't experience. Like knowing exactly who's calling before you look at your phone, or having a cuppa and realising the song playing somehow sums up exactly how you feel at that moment. Or even getting a weird feeling to grab your umbrella, even though the forecast says sunshine, and sure enough, it chucks it down an hour later. It could be listening to your gut feeling not to take a certain route home, and later finding out there was traffic, picking up on someone's mood before they've said a word, or noticing more and more synchronicities. It's a way of seeing the world that adds colour to the grey bits. It's a quiet kind of magic that nobody else needs to understand. It's a bit like being the Freddie Mercury of your own reality, bold, brilliant, and not here to blend in. You see, waiting around for others to understand or validate your perspective is a waste of your precious energy because not everyone will get it and they don't need to. So instead of worrying about what others think, just live in alignment with your own truth and your values, your sense of what's real. That doesn't mean isolating yourself or pretending to be someone you're not. It just means being intentional about when, where, and how you share your magical side. Like maybe you don't start talking about ancestral spirit work at the office water cooler, but you do scribble a protective sigil on the corner of your notebook before that stressful meeting. Or you wear your favourite good luck charm to a job interview, not because anyone else needs to know, but because it grounds you. Or maybe you quietly put a crystal into your coat pocket before heading to your in-laws for Sunday dinner. Not because you think they'd understand it, but because you understand why. You're still being you, just without the need to explain it to someone who'd think you'd lost the plot. It doesn't have to be anything obvious because those things, your things, are quite personal and powerful in their own way to you. You can talk about it with your close friends or with people online who walk the same path, but in work settings or around people who just wouldn't understand, there really is no need to explain yourself. People on this path know the true value of discretion. You learn to share what's sacred to you only with those who can appreciate and understand it.
What's the matter? Don't you drink either?
Not really.
Not really. How else is there if you don't drink really? Answer me that. Now, me, I not only drink really, I really drink. What's the matter? Do you like the music either?
I like it fine.
You don't like it. You don't like to dance, and you don't like to drink. And you don't like for a man to hold you close. That's it, isn't it?
I didn't say that.
You haven't said anything all evening. Why not go play that song again? You like it so much.
And that, right there, is why not everyone gets to see the real you. And that's okay, because some conversations just aren't worth having. You don't need to explain your magic to people who've already made up their mind. Not everyone needs to know your magical business, especially the ones who think Mercury in retrograde just means dodgy Wi-Fi. You don't need to dim your light. Just be smart about where you shine it.
Ginger fairies.